Hey, this is Mass X with a brand new Lost Sword video. It's been approximately, a week now, and we are pushing and we are progressing. But how do you progress? What's the game cycle, the flow, how to push quickly, efficiently? We're going to talk about that right now. Now, one of the first things I want to touch upon really quickly is this is an idle game, okay? So yes, there are characters that are better than others in some ways, but you can manipulate and build and use most characters in this game effectively if you know what you're doing. Are Galahad, Tiamat, Neo, Lancelot, the ones that are really the solid pickups? Of course they are, and I'll do separate videos on those characters, and they are great, okay? Neo has just turned out to be absolutely amazing, and everybody already knew Tiamat and Galahad were just a 1-2 punch that really will successfully push your team. But don't freak out, okay? You're going to get a lot of draws, you're going to be able to pull a lot. You will get those characters eventually if you did not reroll, so just focus on your strengths. You will always want a tank. You're going to need a few DPS, you may need a healer. It's all going to be based on how strong your team is. You may even want to go 2 tanks, 3 DPS. See what works with what you have. Keep that in mind always. Now, the button right on the top of your screen is your move to town, and this area is something people sleep on, and you do not want to sleep on this. If you scroll through the town, you are going to first see your manage base. If you hit the chat signal, you are going to see that you can chat and manage your base here, and you can level it up, and it's going to give you XP gain. That is what is important with this right here for building your account and HP. You're going to need gold and you're going to need lumber. Where do you get that? Well, you get that in the labyrinth, in the battle area. You'll be able to play that once a week. Get through it, make sure you do it. You will get those resources because you will need it for not only this, but also for the blacksmith, where you're going to also be able to get attack and defense stats by using gold and the stone, and you will get that through the labyrinth also. So do not sleep on this area. You're only going to have to worry about pushing it once a week, but when you do, it's going to give you those additional stats to help push your account. Last but not least is, of course, Karen. Gotta love that cow outfit. If you go over into where the circle is and hit the talk symbol, that is your secret cow dungeons, where you are going to be farming equipment. You're going to be able to push it as far as you can once you get to the max, and then you can farm away for your equipment, and they will have, as you push further, better and better drops. So you want to be doing this consistently. That wraps up the town area real quickly. Let's go ahead and move on to the main area. Now, of course, the main story mode is going to be the first thing you're going to be pushing hard. You want to get as far as you can because you're going to want to get good stuff. Now, what you're going to need to do when you lock up there is go to different areas. And don't forget that you have a hard area and a hell. So if you get stuck on normal, go to the hard. Push it as far as you can. Go to hell, push it as far as you can. You're not going to get super far necessarily, but push it. Keep pushing all 3 areas, normal being your primary focus. And when those are maxed out, of course, then you want to hit your battle area hard. You've got your boss raid, which you want to do daily because it has good rewards. You've got your Colosseum, which of course is your PvP. Then the labyrinth mode we've already talked about. That is going to focus for the town items we just showed you. Your Tower of Oberon, of course, is your just tried and true tower mode. Just push it as far as you can. And Star Reincarnation, once you get to the level that you need to be at in stages and it opens up, that will also be an area you will be able to focus on to get necessary materials for consolation. Then you've got in your dungeon area Stonehenge, which is another area you want to push once you're stuck at your main story in those areas. Then you've got gold if you need gold, but I also recommend that you should push all levels on everything one time, and then you can go back, and then if you need to farm gold, farm gold. If you need to get more book experience, farm that. Of course, trying to push more levels, and if you can't, there's a sweep mode on it. Then of course, you've got the elemental stone area to push. This is opened up for me now, so each day I have to go in to push as far as I can. So for future reference, when I go in, I can just go ahead and farm what I need. There is the guild and party area. The party one you create on your own and pick which area you want to do. For the guild, that is going to open up and you're going to have, I believe, 6 hits a day. Make sure you're doing those. And of course your event mode, which is going to be very important. Now, right now we have at the Seaside Resort. You are going to want to push that as far as you can. Hopefully you can get to the end. If you do, you can just sweep, and that store has lots of good stuff in there. The Trials of the World Tree, see if you can push it. It's not as difficult as you would think, as well as the Ocean Exploration. Push those. I was able to complete both of them, so right now I'm hitting the Succubus, which I need to keep pushing right now to get more stuff. So there's plenty of stuff in this game to do when you hit those walls that allow you to build up the resources to be able to continue to push your account even further. Now, going into your menu area, there are areas in here you are going to want to make sure you're focusing on. On your relic, for instance, when you break down your equipment that you don't need, you are going to get the little fairy powder that you're going to need to expand on. Now, the goblet, the first thing you see on there is universal stats. So that's the one you want to focus on. Now, the other two is basically attack, and the other one is defense. You want to push those ones when you can't go any further on the universal one, or if you're finding you need more attack, or you're finding that you need more defense, then go ahead and work on those. But your primary focus should be on the goblet itself. As you can see, mine's at 101. My attack is at 46 because I need a push on it, and my defense is very low at only 21 right now. Now, going back in there too, also you have your growth area. Now, I recommend, because this is an idle game and attack really is productive early on, I've maxed out my attack. I'm doing HP right now, but it's really going to be on the characters that you have and what your focus is going to be. But for most people, it's going to be focusing on attack. And as you push the main story, you're going to continue to get these growth points to be able to put in here. Now, one of the biggest things that is going to occur is when you are able to open up the round table. Why? Because then you will be able to take your main 5 characters, only have to level those, and everybody else will become what the lowest one is in there. And then once you hit to level 200 on those characters, there's going to be promotion levels that come. But right now, we're just pushing. As you can see, my lowest one is at 170. I'm trying to push to that 200. But when you get to this area, it's going to free everything up. Now, one of the things that's nice about this game is you don't have to worry about investing in your characters. And why do I say that? Well, when you go and look at a character, okay, let's say such as Neo here, and if you hit level up, you're going to see there's level transfers. It costs only 10,000 gold. So if, let's say, you've leveled up X, Y, and Z character, you've made some pulls, you've got better characters, you can do a level transfer in just pay that gold amount to transfer who you're not going to be using anymore and move it over there until you get to the round table. So it's very simple, very easy. So don't be worried about investing in characters when it comes to levels. Now, going on with this area, we of course have the Chaos Cube area. In this area, you're going to see there's blue, purple, and of course the yellow legendaries. The rare ones and the heroic, all of these will come from dismantling your gear. I do not recommend using the legendary ones because you're going to need those for other things in the game. The rare ones, feel free to put them in. It's going to give you more stats. Same with the heroic ones for the most part. If you're not using any more characters with the purple, then go ahead and use them here. But stay away from the legendary for now. That's a complete end game mode. Consolation mode is going to open up for you, and as I showed you previously in the battle area, there is an area that isn't currently active right now, or it hasn't come on yet, where you're going to be able to get the currency for this, and it's going to be another means for you to increase stats of characters. And another great way to be able to help your account out, of course, is the exchange shops and the event shops. And that's why it's important to do the events. You're going to be able to get all sorts of goodies in here, and you really want to pick what you need for your account. I hate to say do this one, do this one, do this one, where you may not need that. You may have overstock on fairy powder right now and don't need it. But look at what you need in your account and then strip it from there. For most cases, most people are going to want those rare souls and clear those out immediately, as well as, you know, sometimes you're going to need more of the souls, the purple souls. Just focus on what you need for that account. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the exchange shop that will always be available. Of course, you're going to have stuff for consumables, raid, guild, Coliseum, soul, and mileage. Just make sure that you are going in because you are going to be building this currency and finding what you're currently in need of to push your account further. And that brings us to characters and pets. Now, with the characters, you have a lot of options for your characters, okay? You're going to have of course, your growth, which is going to be your leveling and skill ups. Your skill ups, you want to, on your main characters, push those. You won't have to do all of them on all of them. It matters who they are and what their skills are, so pay attention to them. But for someone such as Neo, I went to fill her completely out because she's just too good. Same with Tiamat. Tiamat is just the hands down DPS. Can't say enough good things about it. So just make sure you're paying attention and skilling up the characters you know you're going to be using for a while. Of course, with your equipment, you're going to want to be striving for that top gear. You're wanting to go in and maximize it. You're going to be able to get more stats when you refine it. This is something that you don't have to focus on until you hit those walls and when you're comfortable with the equipment that you have. And then once you do, then you do want to go in it, get those equipments up, go ahead and start the refinement to get the stats that are going to help you out even more. Now, the cards, as you know, in this game are very important for the characters, and I highly recommend when you are going for dupes in the game, if you're planning on using that particular character, to get its card first before you start transcending levels. And if you're going to use it, then you want to max it out because it's so helpful. Like this one for Tiamat, you know, a magic attack 60%, magic critical hit chance 10%. That's just crazy, okay? So you want to get those cards. Don't be afraid to not transcend first and get the card first, because it's very important to that card. Then of course you have the transcendence, which just as you get dupes, keep pushing it, because that's going to help you, because at each stage it's going to allow you to expand on your skill level for that character, as well as give you stats. Then you have specialties that you can roll for. This is something I don't dive deeply into early into the game. To me, this is more of an end game mode, but you can do it. But what I try to do is build up a ton of these, because when I go to do my main characters I think I'm going to be keeping for a long time, I want to have plenty of those resources so I can go ahead and lock stacks that I want to have. But this of course is another means to do that. And then of course you have your training area, which is going to become very important for it, because this gives you an insane amount of stats for your character. And it's going to be based on how far you can go, based on how far your character is transcended. But as you complete an area, and again, once you complete it, you're going to be able to then go and get something that is a bigger push. Like this first one is critical damage. The next one was an ultimate magic, which, as you can see, the ultimate skill damage is increased by 5%. Things that are going to be very beneficial to your character. And then you're going to hit a stop when you don't have a character fully transcended, and then you can see what's needed. And of course, it's going to show you the required currency, and it's going to tell you what you need to get to move on. But for something like this, I'm not transcended to 4, so she's not going to be able to go any further after I do that last row. But this is an area you are going to want to focus on, because it gives incredible stats to your character. This one, once you get to Ultimate Magic 3, it's going to give this character ultimate skill damage is increased now by 10%, and this effect ends after being used one time. Cannot be removed. So you're going to get a permanent push right there. So these are all things that are going to help build out your character and make them stronger. And you're going to want to start with your most important characters to you. For me, it's been Neo, of course, Tiamat, and Galahad have been the 3 I've been pushing the most right now, so I don't have resource burnout too quickly. If you do all 5 characters, then you're going to run out of resources. It's going to happen. And then once you get them where they can't go any further, then go to your next character and next character. But there's a lot of flexibility in increasing your character. And one thing that is very important in this game is the pets. And to not sleep on these and to pay attention to them, because they can be very beneficial on certain areas. Your pets will have, of course, increased stats. Now, one of the things you do not want to sleep on is pets. They are incredibly important and can manipulate levels that you're having trouble with. Why? Because they're going to have stat buffs. So if you need more HP, like for instance, you're going to get the stat buffs here and damage reduction. They're also going to have skills. You're going to see what their skills are, like this. All allies, increase HP 12%, duration 20 seconds, cooldown 20 seconds, and they all will have this. So you're going to want to pay attention to what your team needs. For this one, remove all harmful spells in effect, and so on. So it's going to be very, very, very important to follow this and pay attention. You know, status effect resistance. There's some that are going to help you with fire, etc. So it is incredibly important to pay attention to your pets, what they can do and what they can benefit for you. And they can transcend. You are going to be able to fill them out. Of course, it's going to be much easier for the purple versus the gold, but you are going to be able to slowly transcend them as you pull more, and it's going to give you additional stats that is going to help out your team immensely. And you're going to be able to slot in 3 pets. So it is incredibly important. I cannot stress this enough, to pay attention to your pets, because they become very crucial the farther you progress in this game. So use the ones that are going to benefit your team the most. But that's going to wrap it up. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.